Hello and welcome back to the ministry. This is Taj McCameron, and today we are going to go through this warning. I think that is necessary to tell you guys. Right now, we are on the precipice of some things being prepared to transpire in your life. And because of these things being on the precipice to transpire in your life, you may currently be finding yourself in a level of mental warfare that it's a level of subtle warfare that the enemy is trying to remind you of the past in whichever way in which he can get you to turn your heart and your spirit in a negative format or fashion towards your God ordained spouse. How so? The past couple of days, I've been noticing, I haven't watched it, and this is how I know I'm past this season and that this isn't an issue for me in this season. I've been seeing like the shows that have been coming on, and I've been choosing not to watch them. Like, for instance, remember the word that I released on The Perfect Match, the film? That film's come on twice in the past week. And I'm like, what does that mean, Lord? Next, last night, an old episode of my old show that I used to watch came on. I chose not to watch it because I done seen that episode like a bunch of times. And it's almost like my spirit was like, no, it's not a necessity right now. The enemy is trying to bring up things to get you to come into agreement, to go into warfare that you don't need to go into. That's what it is. And what it is it's almost as if he wants to get you in a frustrated state when you should be peaceful, so that you can get what it is God's trying to show you in this time. Because you're right there. And it's funny, this morning I was able to see a post. And in it was kind of mentioning the word precipice. And I was like, that's where that word came from. And I'm like, a lot of us are right there. We right there. There are things that the Lord is trying to reveal to you in the secret place, as according to, I believe it's Jeremiah 33:3. Is it 33? Yeah, I believe it's Jeremiah 33:3. That God is revealing certain things in the secret place that you did not know or understand. And because of this, the enemy is trying to interfere with the frequency. A couple of things happened even to me today, and I noticed it. Like, I was in prayer this morning, and because I woke up in relation to something that the Lord showed me, and I went into prayer about it, like in my heavenly language, and the next dream I had was a whole bunch of confusion. And because of that, I will give you this much information. The enemy's desire right now is to get you tied down. I will tell you this much. I had a dream, and the dream I had, I saw this woman that was doing so, and I know that particular spirit that she had on her. I thought that was somebody I knew recently in the past couple of years. But when I went back to go through the dream, what ended up happening is I saw the woman's face again, and it was so clear. And I was like, no, that's that girl from when I was 10. 10. Let me repeat that. I was 10 years old. Meaning, the devil went all the way back in my memory bank. I wouldn't remember this girl for no reason. I ain't seen her since I was 10. I'm 35 years old. Why would I remember somebody from 25 years ago? And what she was doing was what I last remember her doing in a weird situation we ended up in. And I'm like, nah, you pulled that from my past in order to freak me out. And then I saw something that reminded me of the scripture about Paul and Silas who were in the prison and they were chained down by two guards that had two chains to chain them down. And that only reminded me of a word that R.L. Sparks released recently in relation to the birthing? Yes, it was. And she was talking about, she specifically did a whole set of decrees. I believe she has it on her community post. I wrote down what the Lord showed me in relation to it. But basically, I'm going to tell you what was said. Untie me from every ungodly rope or post. And the Lord gave me on top of that, loose the bands from around my arms and neck. For he who the Son sets free is free indeed. You've been set free from these things that are starting to crop up and try to come up in your memory bank right now. These are past thoughts, past places, and past locations. Because I also dreamt of the city that I was living in when I was in New York. Not where I was last, where I started. And I'm like, we passed this. We not even there no more. This, whenever you see past places, they can actually be a sign of delay for you. Even the locations I was operating in the dream. And I'm like, this is the past. But I do know the representation. There was something that was in that. There was a representation, but it may have been a little bit of tomfoolery going on right there in the spirit. But you got to become aware that the enemy's trying to draw you back to old memories, old feelings, old things in order to keep you stuck on things that you've already conquered. And it's funny because Jolyn Whitaker yesterday, actually it wasn't yesterday, it was Wednesday, she did a private broadcast on Facebook. And when she did this, I say yesterday because I watched it yesterday. She said you have to be sure to pull down and take captive every thought because the enemy's not playing with you right now. Okay? So you have to be aware of the type of warfare that you may potentially be under and pull down those thoughts because God is showing you. What was it? I'm remembering something. Jesus, give me Give me what it is. I talked about this recently. Matter of factly, yes, I did. I talked about it in, it was the word I believe I released a few videos back. Not the one where I was in a different location in this one, which was the room with the whiteboard behind me. No. It was what was it? It was like the word just before that. And I talked about how authority in that video and understanding the authority that you have, but also understanding that the enemy at this particular point in time is trying to make false evidence appear real, and how you have to come in agreement with what God has already told you through visions, dreams, so on and so forth. Because right now, what the enemy is trying to do is he's trying to plant seeds of confusion, doubt, so you come into agreement and not be prepared for what it is the Lord already done shown you. He showed it to you. And he's been showing you as of recently that something is coming. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But the Lord has been giving you some sort of something to let you know, I know what you see with your natural eyes. I also know what has been done to tamper with your thought process. I also know, yes, there are things trying to crop up to remind you of the past. I know. But what did I show you? And he's continuing to confirm what he showed you. Follow the Lord's breadcrumbs, okay? Because the enemy right now is pulling up, pop up things in order to make your thinking go backwards. I'll even say this much. There were certain things that I had an issue about in my previous relationship. And very strongly, I say for the last week, the enemy's been trying to get me to put that on my God ordained spouse in the spirit. And I'm the type of person, if the Lord is saying, look, I'm showing you this because there may be a potential of something that you need to be aware of, fine. If that's God, then fine. I'm preparing my heart for that. But if it is not, and the devil's trying to create thought processes, one, to bring me into anger in relation to something from my past that has already taken place, that's the past, release it, let it go. Two, to get me in a level of doubt and confusion in relation to the type of person that God's sending in my life. Three, to get me in a headspace to make me feel like, can I trust XYZ? All of that is to breed a level of confusion so that when the person does show up, your head's already messed up. Because it's the way the devil works. So you got to pull down them thoughts. Just like she was saying. You got to pull down the thoughts that the enemy's trying to bring you in order to get you in a state of mental confusion so that he can, mess with your head. No, we're not allowing that. And it's twisted too, because the way that he's trying to hit you in every area in which he can hit you in, whether he's bringing a false information on in relation to him on his side, or in relation to something from your past that can be an attempt to put it on them. Just be prepared and start to pray against those things. If you start seeing things crop up to bring you back into a melancholy remembrance thing of past things, past traumas, because that's what he's doing. He's trying to remind you of past trauma. Because faith does not exist in a space of fear. And what he's trying to do is bring things that made you afraid, even in relation to this new relationship. Trigger warnings and all this kind of stuff. False flags. Be aware of the tactics and move accordingly. Because he don't ever change. So, he can't bring nothing new. So he can only bring what is the past. Recognize it, release it, and do not allow it to delay you. What's her name? The Healing Prophecy 2.0 did a series of videos. And when I first saw them, I did not watch them. I said, I'm not going to watch these. I don't have no problem with this issue. Why? 2 days later, after I said I wasn't going to watch them, the Lord brought them to my memory and said, in a series of, and it was like a series. This one. I'm like, I know I didn't download that. What is it? You have to deal with your own heart, because any level of unforgiveness that is lingering, the enemy can use that as a dart. That's what Jolene said. Dart that can be used against you and can be used in the spiritual court. It's like, she ain't over that. See, she gonna go and do this in order to trap you and say, oh, is she ready? Or is he ready to be able to walk into said relationship or said new thing if this has been brought up? And the enemy's using these darts to bring it back up. Thank you, Jesus, for Jolene Whitaker. So be aware of the darts that are being positioned to take you out mentally. Okay? Because it's just a mental game. Okay? Be aware of the mental game and act accordingly. Okay? And what else? Is there anything else before I let go of this session? I think that's everything. Yeah, I believe that's everything for this. If it's anything, I'll do a short. So, this is Taj McCameron. Until next time, bye-bye.